Why we are obsessed with dating shows is hard to answer, but Love is Blind Japan made me laugh and cry like a lot. But who would have thought that there were so many secrets behind the cast of the show? Let me tell you all about the lies and shocking facts about the cast of Love is Blind Japan. The dark past of Kaoru's family. Throughout the show, we could hear Kaoru speak a few times about her dark past and her very traumatic experience with her father. If you don't remember, Kaoru mentioned that her father was a popular Japanese singer and that he found himself in a very outrageous public controversy involving illegal substances. In the show, we didn't really hear a lot about this story, and she didn't elaborate much on it, but since her father was a popular celebrity in Japan, there are articles all over the internet which discuss what happened in more detail. The name of Kaoru's father is Asuka, and he was extremely popular in the 90s. He was a member of the duo Tage and Asuka, who were actually very famous all over Asia, but he also released solo music. So what happened? In 2014, Asuka was arrested for possession of the illegal stimulant MDMA. In September 2014, he was actually sentenced to prison for 3 years, which was suspended later and changed to 4 years. If this wasn't enough, he got arrested again in 2016 after he made a call to the police claiming that he's been spied on in his own house through a secret spy camera. However, once the police came, they couldn't understand a thing he said, and when he provided them a urine sample, it tested positive for the use of methamphetamine. He was arrested but quickly released because of the lack of evidence. And if you're still doubting his popularity, when he was arrested for the second time, over 100 reporters were seen at his house that day. Now, it's understandable why this traumatic experience had a bad effect on Kaoru in her public image. These scandals are perceived as something very bad in Japan, and it was hard for her to talk about it. However, the reception of Kaoru on the show wasn't great either, as many people found her arrogant and unapproachable. It's hard to blame her for being careful though, and she just didn't find what she was looking for in the show. Shuntaro is crazy rich. By the end of the show, we get a glimpse of Shuntaro's real life and where his manners and approach to how he decided to live comes from. Well, as it turns out, Shuntaro is possibly extremely rich and comes from a very wealthy Japanese family. When we are shown where he grew up, basically his old house where he spent his childhood, we can quickly put 2 and 2 together and draw a conclusion that Shuntaro didn't have an ordinary upbringing. The family's house is now a dojo which is open to the public. According to what Shuntaro said, he and his brother used to play in the large gardens and ponds which are around the house. Everything around it is strictly in Japanese style. That's why all the gardens look so familiar to what we call Japanese gardens. Fans on Reddit expressed their surprise when they saw this side of Shuntaro. One fan said, "I'm convinced Shuntaro is Mr. Darcy. His home is Pemberley." And another one said, "My mouth dropped when he showed his family home." And if you're interested in reading about Shuntaro's family more, the dojo studio has an official website and it's packed with good information. Ayanos' fake betrayal. Ayano has sparked many debates about her appearance and the way she presented herself on the show. If you finished watching the show, you know that she was paired up with Shuntaro, who was more than 20 years older than her. This alone made many people call her a gold digger, and some fans of the show claimed that she was just too calculative and dishonest about her feelings. What many people found annoying was the way Ayano spoke. It came off as inauthentic and staged. A person on Reddit who claims to be a native Japanese said that it's true, and that in fact, her mannerisms and speech can be compared to the baby talk. That's why many people found it cringy. On top of that, some people started to spread malicious comments about Ayano, talking about her hair, saying that it's greasy and oily, which, as you can imagine, probably wasn't so nice for her to see. But as it turns out, it's just a particular style that Ayano was going for. Many people also claim that Ayano got an unfair edit on the show. The speculation started after people noticed that her scenes are heavily edited. This was further confirmed when the staff of Love is Blind Japan came forward and answered fans' questions regarding this topic. A fan asked whether Midori got an unfair edit, and the staff replied that her scenes were spiced up, but there are others who experienced the same thing. There were even people who noticed that Ayano must have experienced something bad in life because of the way she acts, and some even said that she is simply misunderstood. But Ayano gathered quite a lot of supporters who reached out to her on Instagram and said that although she struggled with English, she was extremely nice and expressed her gratitude for all the messages from the fans of the show. She seems to be very sweet in real life, and that's all that matters. The Miss World Japan. What seems to be one of the biggest mysteries of the show is why no one mentioned on screen that Priya was Miss World Japan from 2016 to 2017. Priya's full name is Priyanka Yoshikawa, and she's actually low-key an influencer and an entrepreneur in Japan. She's signed to an agency, Horipro Media, which represents her, and she's the so-called Hafu woman, which means that she's half Japanese. Her father comes from India, and in fact, her great-grandfather, Prafulla Chandra Ghosh, was a politician and the chief minister of the Indian state of West Bengal. Priya is famous for her skincare brand, but as it turns out, she became the Miss World Japan in September of 2016 and was the second Hafu woman to win the pageant. Now with this information out, many people think that Priya joined Love is Blind because she wanted to gain more following on her social media and promote her business. Some people believe that she wasn't interested in finding love at all. They often back this up by how she approached Mizuki. Yes, we all know that Mizuki should have disclosed that he is not a business owner, but the way Priya only focused on his business and work was, according to some, very weird. And well, I can see where these people are coming from. What struck many viewers as dishonest is how Priya kept on asking Mizuki about his future business goals, about his desired salary, about his other business ventures, but barely asked him anything about his personal life. Of course, the editing is partially to blame for this, since the whole thing about Priya and Mizuki was that they clashed because of their different ways of communicating, and Mizuki not disclosing the truth about his real career. However, the other thing that struck most people as weird was Priya's reaction when Mizuki decided to go for the most expensive bottle of wine in the restaurant. The reason why is that the rumors are that they didn't pay for their food and wine, so people don't understand why Priya got so mad at Mizuki using Netflix's budget. At the same time, this isn't confirmed and they might have actually paid for it themselves, although it's unlikely. The truth about the married couples. Motomi and Ryotaro became the most popular couple of the show thanks to their real and genuine connection. Ryotaro won the heart of probably everybody because of how kind and down to earth he was, and Motomi simply complimented him perfectly with how she approached life and him in general. As we know, they got married on the show, but people are speculating whether they're still together. Motomi shared on her Instagram on February 22nd that she would talk about it later since she wants everyone to watch the show and not spoil anything. Some people expressed their concern about the couple still being together because there are no pictures of them together. However, this can be easily explained because the cast of the show had to sign an NDA and therefore not disclose any information as to not spoil the finale of Love is Blind. On the other hand, fans seem to be worried because Ryotaro doesn't follow a lot of members of the cast. He's no longer only a hairdresser, but also a co-owner of a new bar. There are even speculations that Motomi was pregnant at the end of the show because she kept touching her stomach, but that is very unlikely and just a coincidence. Now, when it comes to Midori and Wataru, people are convinced that they're 100% together. At first, the backlash against Midori was pretty heavy because she came off as very judgmental when she got to meet Wataru. Although her words might seem really harsh, as it was already mentioned in this video, her parts were heavily spiced up and edited. Midori shared on her Instagram that she would talk about her experience on Love is Blind in more detail by the end of the month, and therefore all we gotta do is wait to see what she has to say. There are people who expressed their doubts regarding the weddings on the show though. Many thought that the weddings were fake and that it was just for show itself, but a staff member from Love is Blind Japan actually came forward and debunked this. They said they are legally married but just haven't submitted the form yet. It's kinda longer procedure to do in Japan. So as you can see, the couples indeed got married on the show, but it was up to them to then further submit the papers and make it official. There you have it, guys. What did you think about Love is Blind Japan, and are you up for season 2? Share your thoughts in the comments. Bye!